It's an exciting time in the Big Match studio as the season draws to a close and Liverpool head to Selhurst Park. Victory against Crystal Palace would all but guarantee another league title for the Merseyside club and their all-conquering manager, Bob Paisley.
Welcome again to the Big Match. Today on the programme, that continuing battle at the top of the First Division, where our main match features Liverpool and their visit yesterday to Crystal Palace. And battling for a place in Europe, Ipswich Town against bottom club Bolton Wanderers. Not forgetting that amazing scramble at the top of the Second Division, where today contenders Leicester City face Charlton Athletic. And also today, well, who is the winner of the 1980 Golden Goals competition? Which goal did Jimmy Greaves, one of the game's greatest goal scorers himself, decide should be the #1 for us? And indeed, which viewer now gets that fabulous prize, 2 tickets to the European Cup final between Nottingham Forest and Hamburg in Madrid next month. And what a prize that's now turned out to be. But let's start with Crystal Palace against Liverpool and the race for the First Division Championship. Well, that's escalated to the point that Liverpool came to this match only 1 point ahead of Manchester United, but with a game in hand. And a victory is what Liverpool required, and the huge crowd at Selhurst Park knew it.
Is this the team that will win the Football League Championship of 1980? Liverpool led by their skipper Phil Thompson. Or is this the side that will keep Liverpool waiting a little longer? Crystal Palace with Jim Campbell. Palace coming out to salute their supporters, their last home league game of the season. Their first back into the First Division. They finish in a mid-table position, consolidating nicely, but face a formidable task today. So a full house at Selhurst Park as the First Division season reaches its climax, and a ground where the Liverpool manager Bob Paisley says that if pressed, he would rather win here today than at Villa Park in the Cup replay against Arsenal on Monday. A win for Liverpool, particularly if Manchester United slip up, almost certainly means the title stays on Merseyside. But Liverpool again travel without Terry McDermott and Jimmy Case in their side. They play for Liverpool's reserves today and seem likely to be available for the Arsenal game on Monday. Sammy Lee and David Fairclough continue in the team, and they are able to bring back fullback Alan Kennedy after injury, with the Israeli international Avi Cohen as their substitute. And for Crystal Palace, before they start to kick in, the player of their year is the defender Paul Hinshelwood, being roundly supported by his teammates and the fans alike. So quite a day for Paul Hinshelwood. Palace, meanwhile, are without Kenny Sansom, suspended after being sent off last week, and his place goes to Terry Fenwick. Palace have won only one of their last 8 games, but it would certainly be a good way to sign off in front of their own supporters their last league game of the season at Selhurst Park with Liverpool's scalp today. The referee today is John Martin of Bolton in Hampshire. Well, there's no shortage of Liverpool fans in the crowd, willing their side to make sure of the championship here today if they possibly can. Liverpool in the all-red strip, attacking the goal to our left. Palace in that all-white strip with the diagonal stripes. Palace, who seemed to be going great guns earlier in the season, and then they came up against Liverpool at Anfield in December and lost 3-0, which I suspect taught them a few things about themselves, but it hasn't been a bad first season back for them. But Liverpool playing their 56th game of the season and show no signs whatsoever of wilting. Here's Francis, though, to Hilaire. Well, if there are a few Liverpool fans here, judging by the noise, there's a fairly big contingent of Palace fans as well. The ball from Kennedy going out of play. It's a throw to Crystal Palace. Liverpool fans up behind this goal here. but it's Jim Cannon now for Palace. Towards Hilaire, Kennedy beaten in the air that time, and Hansen turning, holding off Flanagan, or rather Walsh. Flanagan now, beaten though by Souness. Cannon in with the header. Phil Neal in for Kenny Dalglish. Souness in quickly and finding Hansen. A few specks of rain about lunchtime may have quickened the surface a little bit, and there's a lovely pass from Kennedy now for Fairclough, flicked in there with the outside and pushed away well by Burridge. A lovely little flick by Fairclough with the outside of his boot, and Neal battling away there, and back it goes to Burridge, and Burridge really had to be at his best there. A lovely ball from Kennedy, and what a superb little flick in there by Fairclough, really causing Burridge to stretch. Steve Highway in the centre with Joe Fagan on the right and Avi Cohen, the Israeli, on the left, the substitute. Flanagan turning it off for Murphy, given straight to Phil Neal, to the howls of disapproval from the Palace supporters. Peter Nicholas, a touch on there for Murphy, touch back again for Nicholas. He really tried to get it between those two red-shirted players out to Hilaire on the far side. Instead, it's David Fairclough, and that's a corner off Jim Cannon. It's a throw, in fact, and it's with Neal, and Phil Thompson had gone up for it, though. Kennedy with a shot, and John Burridge again with a save. Good shot then by Alan Kennedy. And a good jump there by Walsh. Flanagan on his way. I must say, both sides are making a few chances. It's just at the moment that the forwards on either side are not snapping them up, and saw Ray Clements there a little worried at the way Flanagan was allowed to get through. Bob Paisley with his chairman John Smith alongside him, knowing that that championship is one good win and maybe a draw away from coming back to Merseyside. Looking for that win today. And certainly Liverpool in this opening 18 minutes or so have looked very positive indeed in what they intend to do today. Walsh. Play for Hilaire, play back again, this time for Flanagan, onto the left foot and over the top. Oh, that was a lovely break, played it nicely there for Flanagan. Flanagan up again, beaten by Hansen in the air. Jerry Francis following it in for Palace. Nicholas tangling there with Dalglish. Free kick. And Souness not happy with the decision. A free kick to Palace though. Hinchelwood. Hit high towards Walsh. Beating Kennedy in the air. Flanagan's in there. Walsh is in there. And Clements had to make a save down by the post. And Palace so nearly nosing themselves in front again. It was a good reaction save there by Ray Clements, right down by the post there from Ian Walsh. Flanagan's off on his way, but he hustled Neal, but well, they're going to throw Crystal Palace through the sheer persistence of Tony Flanagan, of Big Flanagan. Here comes the cross again from Crystal Palace. Walsh is there with the header. Oh, a nice little touch by Hilaire. Oh, and a lovely little touch by Nicholas for Hilaire again on the far side. Flanagan once more. And they just couldn't get it in. And Liverpool breathe again as Sammy Lee takes it away. Fairclough now on the far side, but there was a foul by Johnson on Gilbert. A free kick to Crystal Palace. Well, there's plenty for the England manager Ron Greenwood in the centre there to admire today, and plenty of England potential for him here to watch. Flanagan quickly away from his marker to take possession there, but then loses it as Phil Neal plays it forward. Stopped nicely there by Nicholas, and now Flanagan again. Played in first time, that's Ray Clemens' ball. And the long kick, Johnson now after him. Now, can Johnson make something out of this? No. Nicholas. Walsh. Oh, Thompson waiting for that one to come to him. And the shot! Well, that caused Clements more trouble than it seemed likely, because Walsh hit that really quite firmly. Clements across his goal, gathering it up and then getting it at the second goal. Cannon. Nicholas. Cannon. Oh, nice touch by Flanagan again for Murphy, and now for Murphy, and now for Walsh, charge down there. With a little ball by Walsh to Flanagan, that time charged down by Phil Neal, and Palace looking quite lively and sprightly up front there. Two shots charged down, and they get a corner, which Jerry Francis will take. It's with Vince Hilaire. For a chance to play it in, but in fact has to play it to Jerry Francis in the end. Nicholas playing it in there once more. Paul Hinshelwood right in there. That was quite a brave header there by Hansen. Lee playing it forward again. Johnson off in chase. Will he get to it? He won't. Gilbert, Peter Nicholas, Paul Hinshelwood, stopped by Graham Souness, and here's Kenny Dalglish. David Johnson after this one. John Burridge is out. That was handball outside the penalty area. That's a yellow card, which I think is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And that's where there's something wrong with the laws in the game, or at least the way they're interpreted. Burridge came out, his intention was to grab the ball inside the box, the ball held up a little bit. What was he supposed to do? He either had to handle it or let Liverpool go through. And playing to the letter of the law, presumably an instruction, the referee has given the yellow card. What it does mean, it's a free kick for Liverpool right on the edge of that penalty area, right at the end of the first half, as it comes through to Sammy Lee, driving it well wide of that Crystal Palace goal. Well, he played to the letter of the law there, or his instructions did referee John Martin. In fact, I wonder whether John Burridge realised whether he was inside or outside the box. That's how close it was. And whatever it was purely the instinctive reactions of a competitive man. Half-time whistle, and what a brilliant first half it's been. Without goals, but with some scintillating football from both sides. Liverpool so positive in everything they've done. Mike Flanagan, in fact, so lively, and Crystal Palace proving that in their first season back in the First Division, they come to the end of their season, that they are well worthy of being on the same pitch as the very best. They've contributed so much as well. But a half-time score then here at Selhurst Park. It's Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 0, and we'll be back with the second half. Welcome back to Selhurst Park as we await the start of this second half. 0-0 the score between Crystal Palace and Liverpool. And away we go then. It's Flanagan finding Hilaire. first. Can Murphy do it? Murphy going on the outside of Alan Kennedy, but Dalglish is there doing a good covering job, but Hinshelwood trying from another angle. Hoping to get in a shot, but was really crowded out. 2, 4, 6, 8 red shirts back there, plus Ray Clements. At the first sign of danger, Cannon now playing it wide here for Gilbert. Forward again towards Walsh, but that's a throw to Liverpool. Taking that ball from Souness. No penalty, but there certainly seemed to have been, well, it certainly seemed to be worth something. Whether it was inside the penalty area or not is hard to say, but Hilaire seemed to be brought down there. Free kick to Liverpool. Fennick. Sammy Lee with the throw for Liverpool. Now David Johnson. Oh, good piece of play by Johnson. And a good save by Burridge, but can he complete it? He can. Now Kennedy looking for a chance to whack it back in there again. And Cannon gets it away. It's with Kennedy. And an offside, which gives us a chance again to look at that lovely piece of skill over his head there by David Johnson. And suddenly he was clear, a thundering shot which Burridge managed to push up into the area. The question was whether he'd be able to recover and complete the save, but he did. And certainly Liverpool looked much meaner at the back in the first half than they did in the second. In the second half than they did in the first. There were times in that first half when they looked amazingly generous by their standards, but they've tightened up a lot. The midfield men seem to be getting back deeper than they did in the first half. And Palace, whose scoring record is not good, are really going to struggle to find a way through, but Murphy with a shot, and that wasn't far away. Goal kick. Fairclough outside him, Johnson on this far side, Fennick getting the interception in. Fairclough turning it in once more towards David Johnson, turning it back there for Lee. Hit a glorious shot there, but it was just going that little bit too high. Little Sammy Lee had to take it quickly, but it was a good knock down there by Johnson, well aware of what Lee's position was. It's Jerry Murphy who's coming off. And Terry Boyle who comes on. Souness. Now Neal. Now Lee. Now Fairclough. And now a corner. Well, 20 minutes remaining now. And a corner to Liverpool to be taken by Sammy Lee. A very deep one there towards Alan Hansen. Got up well, and Peter Nicholas getting it away for another corner, which I think Kenny Dalglish will take. So Dalglish with the corner, floated towards the near post there. Johnson's backward header. Got a smack in the back of the head too by the look of it. Goal kick. It's Gilbert. Ball forward, straight to Clements. Kennedy, long ball forward, and he's onside, Fairclough. There couldn't have been much in that goal. And Burridge came out quickly, flapped away on the edge of that penalty area, but the real question, I think, in Palace fans' mind is, was Fairclough offside? Burridge making his save. Now it's Johnson. It's worth bearing in mind too that if Burridge, in making that save, had handled just outside the penalty area again, as he did at the end of the first half, and got a yellow card for it, he'd have been sent off. Which I think again says something about that particular attitude to our laws of the game. And now Francis. He found a nice little bit of space there. And nearly got the pass back from Walsh. Oh, and while Sammy Lee was waiting, Fenwick was in there. Here's Flanagan. And Alan Kennedy holding him off well. And then, oh, they got themselves in a tangle again. And Fenwick's right in there. And in the end, it was Hansen who got that one away. And for the first time in the second half, there was just that moment of uncertainty and indecision in the Liverpool defence. It's Francis with the throw for Palace. Cannon. That's a Liverpool throw. And we're in the last seconds of the game now. In fact, the referee looking at both linesmen to see whether they feel the 90 minutes is up. Certainly at the start of this week, people were saying that, well, maybe this would see the week when Bob Paisley's men began to slip with 2 away games at Stoke and at Crystal Palace. They won at Stoke. They've got a point here, it seems, at Crystal Palace. And the championship is still very much within their grasp as the final whistle goes here. In fact, Bob Paisley there getting some congratulations, and I noticed that Phil Thompson had a fist raised in the arm, because raised in the air, feeling that that draw was worth an awful lot to them. The one thing they didn't want was defeat. In the second half, it really never looked like happening to them. They defended so well, and in fact, really 2 faces of Liverpool. They were a bit adventurous in the first half. They took a few risks. They tightened up in the second half, and in the end, stifled the life out of Crystal Palace. And a final scoreline then here at Selhurst Park. It's Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 0.
Well, so while Liverpool were getting that draw, Manchester United were beating Coventry 2-1, and it means that at the top of the table they're now level on points, and as you can see, Liverpool have a game in hand and a better goal difference, which has now become worth another point to them. And the match is to come: Liverpool at home to Aston Villa next Saturday, and then away to Middlesbrough, and Manchester United next Saturday away to Leeds. It means, of course, that next week a victory to Liverpool would be certain to give them the championship. And that would mean another success for their likeable manager, Bob Paisley. A good week for Liverpool, really. 3 points from 2 away games.
Yes, yes. Now we've got it all to do. We've got a home game, and we've got to try and get the 2 points to clinch it. And we'll have to battle for those. But I'm delighted with that point. It'll take a little bit of pressure off. Yes.
It's a good place if you're going to win the championship, to win it in front of your own folk, I suppose. Yes,
and I'd like to. We won it last year when we played Aston Villa. On my 40th anniversary, I'd like to win it on my 41st.
I think a lot of people would like to see you do it, except the Manchester United fans, of course. But they've also pushed you very hard, haven't they?
They've fought well, and which was always there. You knew the type of team that they had, and when teams get a run of of success, and they keep going, they get confident, the confidence grows, and then you've got a fight on your hands.
You were talking about the tension. It's hard to think of an old campaigner like yourself having tension still, but Joe Fagan, I know, still got a bad neck. He's getting all tense about it. I mean, does it really hit you when you sit up there in the stand and we see you looking so placid?
If you're worth your salt in this game, you've got to feel for the game, and it doesn't matter what it is. If I went to 85, I would still feel for the game and that. While I'm in it, if I didn't feel like that, I would pack in. But while I feel for the game, and I feel that we've got to win and that, and, I've not had any championship medals. I've only had 7, but I would like another one.
Yeah, exactly. But what's the situation now with Terry McDermott and Jimmy Case
well,
with regard to the Arsenal game on Monday?
They've won 2-0 up at Anfield, and from Terry's point of view, I think everything's gone well in that. And I would be looking to have Terry out in that, with the type of injury that he had, and then when he said he was clear, I was prepared to give him a game here today. But he didn't want to let the lads down. He knew the importance of the game, and he wanted that. But I'll see what they are when I get back with Roy Evans. Will tell us how they've fared, and we'll take it from there.
Well, Liverpool then, apparently with no injuries to report, and McDermott and Case, it seems, available again. And the Arsenal manager Terry Neal announcing that his team are all fit after their draw against West Bromwich Albion yesterday. Now they meet again, of course, at Villa Park in that Cup semi-final replay tomorrow night. Just one other point, that ludicrous yellow card for the Palace goalkeeper John Burridge just before half-time, and of course a similar incident in the second half could even have meant the Palace keeper being sent off. The referee, John Martin, preferred not to be interviewed afterwards, and really it was no direct criticism of him, let me make that absolutely clear. In fact, overall, I thought he had a good game. It's just that I think that someone has got to sort out the interpretation of that particular law to something a little more sensible for everybody. Talking a moment ago about Bob Paisley and cup ties, and Mervyn Burglass, who's running a national collectors exhibition from May the 3rd to the 5th at the new Kensington Town Hall, has sent me a copy of the 1950 Arsenal versus Liverpool FA Cup final programme at Wembley. And there, if we can see it there, at number 6 in the Liverpool side, in fact, is R. Paisley. But that's the nearest that Bob got to that game because, as he reminded me yesterday, he played in all the rounds up to the final, but then sat on the bench for the Wembley game itself. I bet he's hoping to get to Wembley again as a manager this time. 2 other programmes that I think are worth just a little look before we go on. Very interesting indeed. The 1923 FA Cup final programme, the first ever at Wembley Stadium, of course, between Bolton Wanderers and West Ham United. The famous old White Horse final when some 200,000 fans somehow got into Wembley Stadium. And what about this brilliant one here? Blackburn Rovers against Sheffield Wednesday, final tie of the Football Association Cup at the Kennington Oval, Saturday, March the 29th, 1890. Just a single piece of card, as you can see, but I'm told now that it's worth £500. That programme fare at the new Kensington Town Hall, that's May the 3rd to the 5th. Coming up next, more action as Ipswich face Bolton, and Leicester City have a thriller against Charlton Athletic, and the winner of our Golden Goals competition of 1980 as well. That's after this break. Welcome back. Well, Ipswich Town have had a really amazing run. They've not lost in their last 23 games, and it seems they would surely stay right on course for a place in the UEFA Cup next season, when yesterday they were at home to the bottom club Bolton Wanderers. That was a game covered by Anglia Television with the commentator Jerry Harrison and Ipswich in the dark shirts.
Here's Nicholson. Osman away, but only to Gowling. And forward to Cooper. And now Watmore, if he can turn, he can't get there. Oh, Watmore must be cursing his luck. It was a lovely ball forward by Gowling. It gave 2 players a chance. Luckily, Cooper blocked 1, and it seemed to fall so invitingly to Neil Watmore. He loses his balance, he can't get up on his feet, and when it does, there's too many blue shirts in there, and it's blocked. And now the crowd behind them, having gone quiet for the last quarter of an hour, as Tyson comes forward. In for Muren's left foot. That was very, very close. The 2 Dutchmen with simple play and the shot from well outside the area, causing McDonough a bit of trouble. And Mills. Cantello beats him well there, and Watmore goes in on that one. And Carter now, can he wriggle himself an opening? Gracious me, Carter took his time, he deliberated, but he missed. Well, certainly another let-off for Ipswich Town. Mills put Bolton in a very good position. The ball was knocked over, it came to Carter, he turned one way, turned the other, then drove straight at a very, very big target. It hit the bar and it was just knocked out. Graham with Wilson gone down the right flank. Cantello wants to take over. In for Carter, couldn't quite control it, but Gowling's in to intercept, and Ipswich giving it away a little bit. Nicholson coming down this left-hand flank with acres of room. Tyson's the nearest one to him. Nicholson looking for Watmore. Return coming in for Nicholson, and Cooper does well once more. Neat bit of play between the fullback Nicholson and Watmore, just a touch, but Cooper out quickly. Gates now, it's a good one! The breakthrough at last, the little bird does it. Well, it was a cracking shot. Bobby Robson said he wanted a bit of style, and at last they've got it, but it's been a long time coming. And ironically enough, it was from an Ipswich counter-attack when they've been putting most of the pressure on. When Bolton looked as if they just had one good chance denied by Cooper, then up pops Gates with a good shot that comes in just inside that far post. McDonough well beat. Mills, Tyson outside him there. Graham goes over. Tyson, a nice ball to Gates. Beautiful stuff. Would have been a nice way to go out with the player of the year opening Bolton up on the left-hand side, and Eric Gates, who's made such progress this season, popping that one in. It didn't quite have the storybook finish. Forward for Muren, nice ball out to Burley. Bolton are open here. Good save from Brazil's first-time effort. That was much sharper play and almost a very good finish there as the ball came in from Burley. A quick touch by Alan Brazil, and the goalkeeper grabbing a slippery ball just.
That goal by Eric Gates was enough. Remember, of course, he's got a contender in our golden goals this year as well. Ipswich then keeping up their remarkable record and are now virtually assured, of course, of a place in Europe next season. But there's still a big question as to who goes up from the second to the first division next season. But you have to say that Leicester City have done everything right during the crucial run into the end of this season, only losing one of their last 9 games. And now they're at home to Charlton, already doomed to the third division. Seemed like easy, vital pickings there for Leicester City in a game covered by ATV. Commentator Hugh Johns, Leicester in the dark shirts.
That's Robinson, the touch in, Kelly. Madden catching Lineker after the ball had gone. And referee Shaw, rather slowly and deliberately, has reached for his yellow card. Free kick cannot be taken until this particular incident is tidied up. Really slow and deliberate action by referee Don Shaw. Smith then this cross. Robinson was back to help out. Shaw again stops Leicester. But here goes Young. Good goal! Wow! That's the first real attack that Leicester have had, and they've scored. And Alan Young, the man who bombed it in. Goal number 15 this season for Young. Let's relieve the tension. It was Goodwin pushing that ball forward. Got a touch off Larry May. Drops kindly for Young. The hammer off John's fingers into the back of the net. Young, touch for Goodwin. Wilson is there for Leicester now. Making a little move for himself. The ball off to Lineker. Well, a look down for a linesman's flag that time for offside. There was nothing there. So that was a moment which Leicester should have capitalised on. Here's Lineker coming in now. Rolls his shot wide of the post. watched all the way by Tideman. Kelly, Smith. Eddie Kelly might just try one here. No, Smith does. And it took a deflection and a wonderful save. Oh, brilliant save. Nicky Johns, unbelievable. Smith the touch. There's the deflection. Nicky Johns unbalanced, but a beautiful save over the bar. That ball well won by Lineker. Young now. Smith, gotta be. Oh, what a fantastic save that was. And Nicky Johns having a real go at his defenders. This fella really is playing some brilliant stuff. That was a beautiful pass from Young to Smith. First time shot, going the wrong way. Nicky Johns still made the save. Hazel leading this breakout. Tideman, who has been involved in so many good things for Charlton here, going on his own to drive one. Oh, that couldn't have beaten the left-hand post by very much. That was a very good effort indeed. This tall, striding defensive midfielder went on a forage then. That wasn't very far wide. Byrne sending it on for Williams. I think it'll be too long for him. Corner. This Leicester's fifth corner in the game. Charlton, in fact, had 6. Byrne will take the corner. O'Neill got the touch and Smith scores the goal. Oh, yes. 2-0. Well, let's see that corner again. O'Neill's touch on. And when it comes to Smith, there's no way he's going to miss that. Left-footed. How about that? Powell. Raced through the middle by Robinson. And Wellington comes and comes well. There was some pushing going on as Robinson made his run. So the free kick is given to Charlton. Tideman leaves it for Hazel to get in there for Walker. Oh yes, Grit has scored, and it's 2-1. And the importance of that Bobby Smith goal is now very, very apparent. 2-1, and plenty of time left. That ball knocked forward from the free kick for Walker. The touch across the goal, and Grit, an easy stabbed-in ball. Well, that was a wild one by Matten. Oh, and that's a booking. That is a red card. That's a red card. There it is. Matten. That was sheer foolishness. Even if he hadn't been already booked. You see, that was foolish. And that was stupid. Returned to him by Young. Byrne in behind them, and referee Don Shaw has ended the game. The final whistle's gone. So the celebrations are going to start here early. Mathematically, it isn't over yet. But the crowd think it is. They're pretty damn certain that Leicester are back in the First Division.
Well, as Hugh rightly said, it's not over yet, but Leicester are practically there. Birmingham got a goalless draw at Burnley. Sunderland, of course, that tremendous victory over Watford. And Chelsea, a 1-1 draw at Swansea. It was disappointing that Chelsea didn't get both points at Swansea. It does mean their promotion prospects have taken a slight knock. But now it's time for Golden Goals, the moment when we announce the winning goal and the name of the winning viewer. And it was Jimmy Greaves who came into the Big Match office this week and spent a couple of hours rerunning the final 6 goals before he came up with a final order of merit. And in 6th place, he put Tommy Cassidy's goal. This was for Newcastle United against Queen's Park Rangers, goal D.
This is Rafferty, but that's straight to Shanks, and Rafferty's had another go at it. And Connolly's in there. Connolly against Wicks. Cassidy. Oh! Oh, that's a superb goal from Tommy Cassidy. Oh, what a cracker.
In fifth place, goal C, Eric Gates for Ipswich Town against Manchester City.
Mariner up nicely. Here's Gates again against Booth. Oh, a brilliant shot. A beauty from Gates.
In fourth place, goal F by Tony Morley. This was for Aston Villa against Ipswich Town.
Ormsby knocks that in. McNaught got a touch. Bullivant back to Cowens. And a shot, a great goal. Oh, what a goal from Morley. Out of nothing. Tony Morley.
So the top three. In third place, goal B, Phil Boyer for Southampton. And this was against Nottingham Forest.
Williams again. Oh, Boyer showing a nice touch. What a lovely trap and turn that was to Graham Baker. This is a great bit of play from Southampton that Shannon.
In second place, goal E, Glenn Hoddle for Tottenham Hotspur. This was against Birmingham City.
Now Perryman. Here's Houghton. Europe. Hoddle letting it run there, taking it back from Armstrong. A beautiful move. Oh, a magnificent goal. Hoddle.
Which leaves us with the winner. Goal A, also Glenn Hoddle. His goal for Tottenham against Nottingham Forest.
Alexic. Mary Lloyd underneath this one, but beaten in the air by Jones. Armstrong's coming in there. Oh, a tremendous goal by Hoddle. 1-0 to Tottenham.
First and second place. I don't know what we're going to do about that, do you?
Very pleased with the...
It's quite an achievement. It's been a great season of great goals for you, though.
Yes, I've scored a few this season that have been lucky enough, you know, to go in from outside the box or just inside the box.
Of the two that we had there, would you agree with Jimmy's choice that that one against Forest was the better than the one against Burton?
I think so, yeah, for the actual finish and the fact that it didn't touch the floor before it went in the back of the net. Yeah. But I was pleased with the Birmingham one as well. Yeah. But one of the best goals I've scored this season.
Good. OK, we'll come back to Glenn in a moment, because what I ought to do before we go any further, just to remind you all of the winning order, in fact. Goal A, Glenn Hoddle. Goal E, Glenn Hoddle. Goal B, Phil Boyer. Goal F, Tony Morley. Goal C, Eric Gates. And goal D, Tommy Cassidy. And this, in fact, was the winning postcard sent in by Mr. Peter Whale of 33 Hawthorne Drive, North Harrow, Middlesex, HA2 7NG. And here indeed is Mr. Whale. I should quickly tell you, no relation to the former Spurs chairman. His was the first correct postcard out of the bag. So he gets that trip for two to the European Cup final. And there are 6 consolation prizes, the big matches, A Decade of Football, the 1970s, written by my colleague Martin Tyler and myself. Glenn doesn't go away empty-handed either, because he has this beautiful cut glass decanter here and the 6 glasses. But that's the prizes out of the way. Peter, can I come to you first of all? You're a Fulham supporter, not a Tottenham supporter, I gather. And you didn't just fill in one entry.
No, I thought that there were 3 goals, 2 Glenn goals and the Phil Bowyer goal that stood out from the other 3. So having split them into 2 groups, and it was just a case of messing around with the order, because I feel that any one of the 3 could have won it. Yeah.
So how many entries did you send in?
36.
36? Yes. And now you're going to Madrid for what is a marvellous European Cup final now.
That's right. Not bad for £3.60.
£3.60 was your investment. Have you decided who you're going to take with you yet?
A wife.
Good. And at least that makes a bit of a consolation for supporting poor old Fulham this season. Let's hope they soon turn the corner, although it's the 3rd division next season for them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good hopes down there?
It's been a very disappointing season. It ought not to have happened. I don't know why it has. I just hope that things improve next season.
Yeah. Well, I think you've got to be a fan of this fellow in the middle now, Glenn Hoddle. Jim, I mean, did you have any, you're going to get so much mail. I'm not going to get the mail for choosing 2 Tottenham
That's
goals.
right, Brian.
It's got to come your way.
Well, when you invited me so kindly to judge it, I knew that I was going to put my head on the block. Yes, I'm going to get a lot of mail, and I know what sort of mail it's going to be, but I came in the studio, as you know, and studied the 6 goals and run them over and over again, and without being or showing any bias whatsoever, I took them as I saw them on merit.
It's a funny thing, I would have thought of them all, I mean, I think Glenn's goals are tremendous. The Phil Boyer looked more of a typical Jimmy Greaves goal than either of Glenn's.
Well, Phil Boyer goal I think you were right in saying that there were really three in it, and the Boyer goal was brilliant, the way he controlled it in the middle of the park. And I mean, he really put some leather onto the grass to get up again to knock the ball in from inside the 6-yard box. But then when you took the other two into consideration, and I did have ideas of splitting Glenn's goals with the Boyer goal, but looking at Glenn's two goals, the one against Birmingham and then the one against Forest, they had to be just that shade in front of the Boyer goal. And for me, the main goal, the #1 goal, the Forest goal, was unique. It was out of Alexic's hands, and it was nodded on by two forwards, Chris Jones and Jerry Armstrong, and you don't often get two forwards winning the ball in the air twice. Straight onto this fella and into the back of the net.
Have you been conscious, Glenn, of being, as Keith Birkinshaw said, look, we want more goals from you this season? Because it's been amazing, your scoring rate.
Not really. I said at the beginning of the season I'll be happy with sort of 10, 15 goals, anywhere around there. I didn't sort of go out to score any more goals than I did the year before, but it's just worked out that way. I've had to score long distance. Like,
sure. Did you ever see Jim play and score goals?
Yes, I did, yeah. I think Jimmy's was always a little bit nearer to the goal, but I wish I could score as many as Jimmy did.
Well, I mean, I never went back beyond the halfway line, Brian, did I? I mean,
what about this fellow as a goal scorer? He does get some pretty spectacular shots in.
Yes, I think that's one of the worrying aspects of Tottenham at the moment, is that they've had to rely on Glenn pulling magical goals out of the bag. Obviously, one hopes that he's going to do it again next year, and we hope that there's one or two other players at Tottenham who'll be able to give him adequate support in the bread and butter goals.
Lovely. Peter, congratulations. Glenn, congratulations. Jim, our thanks to you, and I hope you're going to answer all those letters you're going to get from those anti-Spurs fans. There'll be plenty of them. That's it for today, though. I hope you've enjoyed the programme. The next football on ITV, incidentally, is tomorrow night, when we bring you cup tie action at 10:30. I suggest you make a date for that one. And let's hope we have a little more luck with that one than we had with the goals from our games this weekend. Of 6 matches covered by ITV this weekend, would you believe 4 of them finished in goalless draws? But at least we had the golden goals to make up for that. And our congratulations again to the winner, Glenn Hoddle.